Hi, it's time for another math easy solution. Today we're gonna discuss using the Google search bar as a calculator. You'll find that it's extremely useful. I use it all the time in school or whatever, work or whatever, or anytime I need to use a calculator. I actually like basically all in all stopped using my real calculator and just use Google because always well on the computer. There's always a browser available. You have your phone. You can also use that to calculate, and I'll show you how you can. This is actually quite amazing, and I don't think you may not have learned this, but this is very useful. So well, let's say we have I have the Google Instant Search on, so it instantly searches. But anyways, let's go to 2 times 3. And then all you do is 2 asterisks times 3 equals. Press equals. It's 6. So that's a simple one. Let's go to to the power of 2 to the power of. You have to do brackets so that power of sign or divided by 3. 2 to the power of 2/3 is that. Is 1.5. This is right. You could check with your calculator. Well, let's also do square root. You can just write squared of 3. SQRT is square root 3. There you go. There you have that. You could also do, or you could go 3 divided by 1 divided by 2. There you have that. The same thing. Or you could also do, what else can you do with this one? Well, you could also use different, like you could use variables that are well known in math, like constants. Let's say E equals that. It knows what it is. You could also go E to the power of, which is that sign, that symbol there, power of 5 equals that. So this is very, very smart calculator. This is unbelievable. I've never seen something like this. Okay, you could also, let's go cosine. If you use 60, I'm not sure what it is. Let's go cosine 60. It uses radians initially. So radians is default. So one thing you should know is the default units. So radians for angles is default. And it uses the metric system as default. So like meters would be default for length and so on. And so let's say we have, so this one, let's say you want degrees. All you do is write degrees. 0.5. I didn't even need to press equal there. Sometimes you do, sometimes if it doesn't really matter. So this one, you could just write radians otherwise. Radians. So, like, it's just really, really smart. I could even do that. Let's say you want to know what 60 radians are, 2 degrees. All I do is write it exactly as I questioned it. So that's 3,000 degrees and whatnot. Well, already, because 2 pi radians is 1 circle, so that's I don't know, a lot more than that. But anyways, so you could also what else can you do with this one? I'm trying to think. Well, you could also just write long equations, and it doesn't matter. You could just go, let's go 13 times 4 to the power of let's say 5. You gotta put the bracket so that this is the power of cosine 60 degrees. This is all to the power. To put a second bracket. One thing you gotta make sure is the brackets. Make sure you have the brackets, and so there's a number down there. And then you could also see how it's already solved. It's already solved here. See, it's already solved. You could also add random units. Let's go meters to centimeters. So I just solved it to centimeters, or to feet. I just added that as a unit to say that was a length. It just randomly solved it. This is unbelievable. Like, you can actually combine units. I don't need to just go to that. I can go, let's say 13 m or meters, or I can even just write it meters divided by, let's say, 4 feet. What does that equal? I just enter. There you go. It solved it. There's the units cancel, because what it does is it it converts every unit and number attributed to the unit into the default or the metric unit. So it would convert the feet to meters. Meters would stay to meters because that's a default, and then they cancel. Or what you could also do is, let's say, erase the feet, add seconds. I just added exactly as I would say it, and now I get a velocity, which is just the speed of 3.25 meters divided by second, 3 meters per second. So as you can see, it's very smart. It gets even smarter. That's how I go pi. Pi, you know pi, is that. So, and then you could also get c, which is speed of light, is c. If you press equals, it doesn't show it for some reason there, but let's go to 1 times c. This one, I don't know why it didn't have c initially. So 1 times the speed of light equals 299.7245. So what you could even do is just type it as you would say it. Let's go 2 times the speed of light divided by pi meters. Let's go, this is meters to kilometers. I've never tried this. Let's see. Okay, I think that was too much. So there's some things it goes a bit too far. Let's go to this. What does this equal? So this one, it solves that. So oh yeah, because the reason, let's go back to this. The reason this didn't get it, because this doesn't make sense. It has units. I forgot this one. The speed of light, the default's always going to be in metric default one. So meters per second is default for velocity. So that's why I couldn't do this. So if I were to delete the meters, so let's say to kilometers per second, so per or divided by, so this would work. So yeah, this is actually unbelievable. Let's say I didn't want sound, I didn't want light, I wanted the speed of sound. So there you go, it just converted that. So I actually have completely stopped using any calculator. Besides that, like I don't even use my school one I had or my TI whatever, those 83 or 89 or whatever. They're just like we're so used to using the computer, using your phone, using a keyboard, and now we have a browser that's everywhere, and you don't need to carry anything with you. You don't even need to open it. Yeah, you don't even need to worry to learn how to use a calculator. Just Google it. Just Google the equation. That's all what it's doing. What Google has done in this is profound. Like I've never seen something like this, because it's database of how much stuff they have and how much resource they have to be able to do all this. Is truly amazing. And this speed of sound at sea level, this speed of sound changes, and that's default. So there's a lot of defaults put in, but you could obviously change it, and you could look at the more about the calculator there, and that will explain more. But this is pretty much all that you would need on a day-to-day basis. But you could always find other things that you think you would need. Well, here's I was trying to think of something else. Well, you could also, if you were to write, let's say, units of volume. Let's go to 30 meters. Meters is m. All you do is to the power of 3. And then let's say, yeah, this equals, yeah, 30 m3. Or let's say I want to convert it to, all you do is 2. I'm just saying 30 meters cubed to milliliters, ml, equals 30 million milliliters. Like this, I just found out, like, I don't need to even use a calculator to find what the ratios are or anything. I just know it from there right away. That's the answer. You could combine them into long equations. You don't even need to worry about the units anymore. All you do is include them in the question, in this equation in the Google search. So I would go, let's go to 3 meters, I'll just type meters, times 5 seconds. I don't know what this would equal actually. What would this equal? yeah, 15 meters second. It just keeps that units. 3 meters per second divided by, let's go, no, let's times by what happens if I do 4 feet times, and let's do pounds for some strange reason. 50 pounds equals, it converted the pounds, it converted everything to the default metric units. It converted all the imperial, these ones to it. So this is what you could do with it. You don't need to even worry about what 1 meter, how much feet it is. It doesn't matter because it's all in this. It already does it for you. Or, well, if you want to know what 1 meter is, how much, say 1 meter to feet equals, there you go, 1 meter is 3.280, whatever. Another good thing about using Google search instead of any calculator is Google search, Google has a huge database where they save, if you unless you choose not to save your searches. So all these searches are saved. Like, so I can, even 2 years down the road, 3 or 10 years, I can look back and say, what was that calculation I looked at? Or, well, you'll never do that, but anyways, or let's say I calculated something before, I wanted to change it, I made a mistake in the calculation, I can go back. Like, this is something you can't do on just any calculator, or they may have memory, but it's hard to scroll them back up. You can just go back and search it and whatnot, so I see everything here. So this is what it's doing is, yeah, I can go back, and then, or if I want to go forward, what I do. So this is unbelievable right here. This is extremely useful. I use it all the time, and hopefully you learned that you could use Google for anything. And the saying, just Google it. If someone asks you a question, Google it. This is actually, it goes deeper than we think. You could actually right now you do a lot of things on Google. I'll show a video probably later on using Google for other things like translations and whatever. Google's just huge. It's $1 billion company that has the most hits on internet, the Google search and whatnot. But it is huge, and they are taking strides and making a lot of things we do in life easier. Well, hopefully you learned, and yeah, let me, if you have any feedback, comment below, and I can even help you out even with this, because I've done this for a while. And hopefully you tune in for another math easy solution.